How's it going? Ryan here, and today I'm going to go over a couple trades that I took on SPY. The first being a bit of a mistake. I bought the wrong contract, so that was not really counted as a trade, as I cut it pretty much immediately once I realized I bought the wrong one. My second trade was a small loser, and my third trade was a decent winner that made up the majority of my day. Before we go into that, we're on the daily time frame here. I'm not going to go over every one of these levels, but mostly just areas of support and resistance determined from the daily time frame. So swing lows, swing highs, etc. From Friday's trading session, I had the high of the day as well as the supply area associated with that on the 15-minute. I also had the low of Friday's session with the demand area from that. We've been showing a lot of weakness in the market. Over the weekend, we gapped down. We're set to open lower than Friday's low of day. And my initial idea for a trade was to look if we could come up, fill the gap from Friday's low of day, and then continue downwards. So when we opened lower and we started to push up towards Friday's low of day right at that 430 level, once we got one candle closing confirming some weakness in this area, I took a call on accident here. So I was trying to take a put, looking for us to test, come down to 429.58 initially, and potentially break and go lower. I took a call on accident. I bought the wrong contract, as I was looking to trim or stop this position out as we started to push up into this area higher than I wanted. I realized that my contract was actually gaining value rather than losing value. And once I realized that I had bought the wrong contract, I quickly cut. That happened pretty quick. As we started pushing up in here, I just noticed that why is this contract gaining value? And I cut that pretty much immediately. I had about a $2 gain on that or something. It was really quick. Once I realized I bought the wrong thing, I didn't want to stay in that position. But once we broke above this zone, my second trade, and looking back, this is a bad trade, and I'll explain why. We started to sell off, came down, tested this 430 area. Once we held it on this candle, I took a call, 431 call, wanting to see us continue up to this zone. I took a 431 call off the retest of 430 here on this candle. I did get stopped out down here for a small loss. I got a really good fill, so my risk was actually really small as well in terms of where I cut my position. Took like a $6 loss or something. So overall, down a few dollars on the day from that mistake here, and the loss here. This is a bad trade because, yes, we came down and we got to close above that level. But look at these candles. We have lowering volume on the push up and break of that level. And then we have a huge bearish engulfing candle that closes almost towards the low of the candle. Yes, we respected 430, but overall that's still very bearish. Lowering volume, high volume on a bearish engulfing, that's something I should have paid attention to. So taking a retest here for calls was pretty stupid, and I took a small loss for it. From there, we bounced up and we kept kind of maintaining our price action in this zone here, and that's when I drew this trend line from the pre-market to the swing lows that we've had. My third and final trade, as I was looking for breaking this support, I wanted to see this trend line be broken. Because we had shown some weakness, some high volume and some selling, and we were setting lower highs here. As we set this high of day, came down, pushed back up, set a lower high, pushed up even higher, but still a lower high. We didn't retest our high of day, and we were showing some weakness. So once we broke below this trend line and opened below this trend line, I took two puts for 429 strike for today's expiration right here at the retest of 430 and the trend line. So we'd broken down two of those levels, the trend line and that level from Friday's low of day. On the retest, I took puts. I trimmed my first at this 429.56 level. I had a feeling we might bounce here. It was a big level on the daily time frame. It also happened to be a level that we had found support earlier in the morning when we had broken above, retested, and continued. So I trimmed one position right here for a small profit. I let my second position ride. And as we push down here, at the low, I was up around 50% on this contract. I didn't sell. I wanted to see us reach the pre-market low. I wanted to see us reach at least 429 before I thought of cutting. And that kind of bit me a bit because I was greedy. I wanted more. I was consciously realizing that my contract was up 50% at this time, and I decided to hold rather than trim or cut. And I think it's silly because it did not hit my price target necessarily of coming all the way down here, but we had made a great return in a small amount of time, and I only had one position open. I'm not trading with a lot of contracts. I only had 2 contracts. I already trimmed one for a small profit, being up 50%. I was risking 50% profit for the potential of 100% profit. Instead, when we pushed up on the screen candle, I cut and took maybe a 10% profit. So looking back, had it continued, I would have been happy I held. But I think also realizing when I'm up 50% on contracts to take some of that profit and secure that, because that is an insane return in a few minutes. So a bit greedy here, and it bit me. I still took profit on this contract, but as we pushed up here, I didn't like what I was seeing, and I cut my position. I'm glad I did, because this would have stopped me out at break even if I hadn't. So we did chop up in here before setting a little slightly lower swing low. From there we rallied. That's quite a move. Bounced around that 431.2 level a bit. And yeah, we just kind of ranged, found support in this zone that was the high a day earlier. Came down, eventually sold off and tested this 430 level before rallying up higher on the day. There was some plays to be had today. You can see if you chart, like we were in this channel a bit. You could have taken the break of that trend line as I did, and make some decent profit. You could have seen this is pretty much like a huge flag. We come up, start to flag down, then break out. Could have taken the retest above this zone once we got above it. Yeah, there's quite a few plays. You know, we kind of trended here. Could take puts off that trend line, that resistance. There's all sorts of stuff. You could have looked at the high a day. What is going on there? You could have looked at the high a day, taking calls once he broke above it. Like, there's a lot of plays to take today. Kind of a crazy day, but a lot of opportunities. It did move pretty nicely around these key levels. So yeah, overall that was my 3 trades. First one, made a mistake. Still kind of a bad trade. It would have been a loser. Second trade, mistake. Huge high volume bearish engulfing. Taking calls there was stupid. I did have a tight risk to reward, so it wasn't too bad in the first place. Third trade, taking that break of the trend line here that we had seen, the break of the trend line in the break below that key level. With the same day expiration, those puts moved really nice, but I didn't take profit when I should have. From there, we kind of ranged in there, broke out, yeah, and that's how we played out. I appreciate you watching this far. If you made it this far, I trade live every Monday through Friday. If you feel so inclined, stop by and say what's up. And we do have a free Discord. The link will be in the description of this channel. If you want to hang out with like-minded people, if you want to learn how to trade, we are all on this journey together to grow, to become profitable, and to share our ideas and knowledge. So if you want to join along, I'll throw that link in the description. Feel free, come say hi and hang out. With that, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. Peace.